talking about the aftermath of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, PEPT. And of course, revising our constitution. Some are saying that what gave rise to the judgment is because of our constitution, that it should be revisited, because even great countries like the US, they review their constitution every 10 years. They go back, they look at it because of matters and issues arising. They go through it very well to dot the I's and cross the T's properly, so that anyone that escaped because of the fragility of the constitution in a particular case will not have the strength or the smartness or looking for loopholes in the constitution to escape being punished, especially when found wanting. Hence, every 10 years they sit down, they review the constitution. In Nigeria, when last did we do that? Yes, wise constitution. That was on the one hand, 99 constitution, when they went to the constitution, they reviewed it. And of course, President Goodluck Ebele, Jonathan Tenor, he called great minds together to review the constitution. The recommendations made, where is it? Has it been, infused into the constitution to make it more solid? The answer is no. And right now, many lawyers pundits are faulting the judgment on the constitution. They say, look, don't blame the judges. They gave examples from cases and backed it up with our constitution. That was how we got the verdict. They took our time to explain. For a judgment to last for up to 14 hours, you get to know that they crossed the T's and dotted the I's, giving reasons why some cases were struck off. Constitutionally speaking, section D's, subsection D's, from other cases, drawing inference and all that. It took almost a whole day. Some saying you have to give them kudos. Others saying no, we never expected that kind of judgment. But here we are, the aftermath of the PEPT. That is what we are going to talk about on this particular aspect of this morning on ITV. And of course, I have two legal practitioners here with me in the studio. I have Barrister Emmanuel Obakpolo. Barrister Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining me on today's edition of This Morning on ITV. I appreciate your coming.
It's a delight being here. Good morning, Wilson.
All right. And I also have Barrister Justin Ure. Barrister Justin, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your coming.
Thank you, viewers at home, and thank you, Mr. Wilson.
All right, Barrister Emmanuel, I'm going to come straight to you. Over 14 hours, judges were reading, giving reasons why they struck off this, they did that, why they came to this conclusion, and finally they gave a verdict. And some says, look, Nigeria Constitution is saying, no, we have to go rewrite it, we have to go revisit it, we have to do everything possible to make sure that what we heard doesn't repeat itself again in the near future. Take it up from there, Barrister Manuel.
Firstly, the judgment was a sound one. I must give credit to the justices of the Court of Appeal, also known as the Tribunal, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. I must give them kudos. They did wonderfully well. And also the strength with which they used in that lengthy time to be able to come out with a verdict, just as we saw. I do not know, with the respect to their age or regards to their age, I do not know where they derived that strength from. However, I think it was an act of professionalism displayed by the justices. So once again, kudos to them. And with respect to the Nigerian Constitution, firstly, I want to look at the Constitution of Kenya. Article 140 of the 2010 Kenyan Constitution provides us that an election matter has a lifespan of 3 weeks, and upon filing, the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in Kenya, has 14 days to determine that matter upon the conclusion and declaration of a winner or candidate in an election in Kenya. So you can see that constitution, so straightforward. The language there is not a complex one or a compound complex language that could be subject to different interpretation. And even when you subject them to different interpretation, it may come out to give meaning. But in our case, section 134, 1B, section 134, paragraph 1B, provides that a candidate in a presidential election shall have not less than 1/4 of the election in 2/3 of the states and Abuja. As a lawyer, and literally is conjunctive, because and is an conjunction. So, but my lords, the justices of the Court of Appeal of the tribunal have come out to, in their own wisdom, to say that section or that provision is irrelevant, and that Abuja can also be like any other state in Nigeria.
No, they never said it's irrelevant. They said Abuja can be like it to any other state.
That is the irrelevant. The word irrelevant was used. At least I listened to the judgment. The word irrelevant was used. That is my own question. However, the judgment has been delivered, and there is room to go upstairs. And for information has it that the Labour Party and the presidential candidate Peter Obi has chosen to go upstairs. Also, Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party has also chosen to go upstairs. But my worry, Wilson, just like in your introduction, you made reference to the Nigerian Constitution. In the United States of America and other states of the world, their constitution is reviewed every 10 years. Yes. But you know, this constitution was given birth to by the military on the 29th of May 1999. And all this while, scholars, legal minds have made submissions or arguments that the constitution is not people-oriented, that it is a military constitution. So the question of the legitimacy and legality of the constitution hangs on the balance. However, it is the grown-up just now. So the question of whether or not it is an extant constitution or it is not subject to review, it depends on the National Assembly, which has that function to carry out. And also, there was an attempt during the administration of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, to be precise, in 2014, to see how we can have people-oriented constitution. But like you know, that document till tomorrow has been swept under the carpet, and we do not know where that document is, save for those who are privy to the whereabouts of that document. So I think to conclude just now is to say that the constitution is also another challenge that we have, because the provisions of the constitution, even where you do not read a section in isolation, you marry it with other sections, I think the constitution still needs the word review. For me, I think the constitution needs a total repeal, so that we can have another constitution that can propel Nigeria and give us democratic culture that we desire.
All right. We'll start with, it was a sound judgment, for it start picking holes here and there, and it all went back to the Constitution. Barrister Justin, do you share his views?
Well, I differ from the opinion or views of my friend, Mr. Abakbolo. First, I want to salute the industry, the justices put in to put up that document for whatever it is worth. You know. If you have the privilege to write a book or write a project in your university days, you know that to write judgment of about 800 pages or so is not a day's job. before the justices delivered the judgment, some persons approached me, barrister, why is this thing taking time now? Why is this thing like this? I said, look, if you know the work judges do, you won't even envy them. They say, oh, how? I said, okay, look, they'll go to the court. They'll take evidence. Sometimes in long hands, as you are giving your evidence, they are recording. And most times, the cost list, you see over 20 cases, and each lawyer or each case has to be heard. And as they are hearing it, the judge is expected to also make his ruling or order or judgment. So when he leaves the office or the court, he retires to his chambers in the court. From there, he goes home. This job, he think he has ended about 3 or 4 o'clock of the day. It continues. When he gets home, brings out this record book again, and the law report or the authorities or submissions made by the lawyers, and begin to review them and write. My dear, it's not an easy job. So for that, I salute them. Now, coming proper to the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, or court as it is called, I strongly differ with the judgment. Like my principal has said, Mr. Peter Abi, is their reason and conclusion to me is on faulty grounds. And I have my reasons for that. Before I continue, my friend said the Nigerian Constitution has some amendments. Yeah, that's why you say 1999 Constitution has amended. Yes, it has had some amendments. Just that the amendment is not fundamental. Dr. Goodluck Ebele had the intention to bring in that fundamental or holistic amendment back for one reason or the other. After the conference had concluded its work, submitted it, I think it was left for him to pass it to the National Assembly for the regulation or regularization, but that one never saw the light of the day. Be that as it may, it has had some amendment. Now, coming back to the tribunal proper, when you look at from the beginning, the tribunal gave out some orders, even to INEC, that was not obeyed. He told INEC, allow these parties or the petitioners access to this document or machinery or computer or whatever you used for this election to build or make their case. INEC reluctantly allowed them to selected few after they almost, if you look at the time they filed, the 21 days they had to file after the election result had been declared.
But the bottom line is that they were given.
No. They were not given what they want.
You said selected.
Yes.
That means they had at least.
They had a few. But
more than what they bargained for.
No.
Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway.
No, can I continue?
No, you know what,
okay.
Justin, the matter has been concluded. Judgment given. I wouldn't want us to go through the process again.
Okay. I was just building.
You understand?
Okay.
No, because right now it's like, if you have any objections right now, hold on, I'm coming.
I want you to allow him to lay
of course, he is going to lay his foundation. Okay. He will, but I'm just like giving us guidelines right now. You understand it? If you have any issues, you may just go over there. You go upstairs, the Supreme Court, to just let it go. Because if you say the process, that you get to realize that they gave reasons why delivering this judgment for each action taken.
You see, with due respect to my learned justices of the Court of Appeal that delivered that judgment, with utmost respect to them, my respect to them is profound. To me, that judgment did not meet the expectation of the people. Even
the people or your people?
not Nigerians, an average. See, let me tell you something.
Now this is where I put my foot down. Hold on. This is where I put. Hold on. Stop generalizing. You can say a sect. I will understand, but not Nigeria as a whole.
Okay,
you understand?
I didn't say when I say the people. I didn't say.
I think so.
As far as
do not say Nigerians, no. Because some Nigerians are happy about the outcome.
When I say as far as it's more than one, we are already a people. We are many. It's not me alone. It's not one person alone. We are more than 50. We are more than 50,000. We are more than 500,000. So we are. I can rightly use the word people. Now let me tell you something. Let me take you back to 2008. That's 2008, when the judgment of Comrade Adams Ali Oshomole was delivered in Edo State against the then Professors Osareme Osumbo. You could see the instantaneous eruption of joy, gladness. People went into the streets. I'm sure you were in Benin then, or in Edo State. You saw it. Then when they also went to Court of Appeal, when the judgment was being delayed, it was televised. You could see the joy. Those persons were not paid. They saw that this man is who we truly voted to, and the judgment, boom, it burst. Okay. Or it exploded. That is one way to know that this thing is in accordance or in tandem with the way the people had voted.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Hold on. I will come back. I'll come back to you. You have enough time to really explain. We have from now till the end of the show to really talk some more.
It's okay.
Now he talked about the process, talked about the reaction of the people, talked about. He gave an example of what happened in Edo State in 2008 about judgment. But some are saying that we cannot fault the justices because whatever they give us a judgment is backed up by a section or subsection of the Constitution. Take it up from there. Constitution.
Wilson, with utmost humility, respect, I have for the courts, and as a lawyer, and also as a Nigerian, this process was faulty from the foundation. It was not necessarily the courts. When I did in my introduction at the outset of this program, I talked about that the judgment was sound. The court is not a Father Christmas. It is what you bring before the court, the evidences that the court will look at, facts and figures, the arguments that the court will consider in determining how the matter may go. INEC is the architect of all the challenges we've had with respect to this election, the 2023 presidential election that took place on the 25th of February 2023. INEC gave Nigerians a lot of hope. INEC gave Nigerians, particularly the young minds, a lot of energy. And somewhere along the line, that was truncated. And how was it truncated? The process. Now, Lameleye first said that there was an order to INEC to give to all the parties everything with respect to the elections. The germane question is, did INEC obey that court order? 2, the petitioners, did they bring an application against INEC for contempt while the court was seated? So, INEC has 75% of the blame. The counsel to the petitioners also made their errors. I must be sincere with you. I haven't listened to the proceedings with respect to the judgment. I'm a lawyer. I'm a human being. I can also make my error. I want to admit here and now that the counsel also made their errors, and they should admit that fact. Then, in such situation, what do you want the court to do? The court now considered what is before them, or what was before them rather, and evaluated the evidence, the facts and figures before it, and came up with that judgment. So there were errors somewhere. Now we expect to the people. Section 14, subsection 2A of the 1999 Constitution as amended of the Federal Republic of Nigeria does provide that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria. Did INEC obey that sovereignty? And I want to tell you that in this country of ours, the only way and where Nigerians exercise that sovereignty is at the police station. It's in the elections. And what we saw from 1999 to the last election, even the just concluded local government election in Edo State, is that the people's will was never in it. So the political class have a way of hijacking the people's will when it comes to franchise.
All right.
And in that stead, or in that situation, what do you want the court to do?
I'll come back to you, Barrister. Barrister Justin, you have the floor.
So
He said yes, there are flaws, but majority of the flaws was occasioned by the promises made by INEC to the people that their hope was dashed. Talk about the beavers and so many other aspects of it.
you see, Mr. Wilson, like I will always say, my people will say, "We are doing
Could you please interpret?
He said, like undermining the situation is not, you have not said the truth. Let us be sincere and tell ourselves the truth. You see, if you look at why I say the judgment is faulty, or some of the reasons I said the judgment is faulty is this. There was an electoral act that was signed into law that made room for electronic transmission and other things during the election. Yes.
What provision of the electoral act, sir?
I think we are looking at section itself, if I'm not mistaken.
87.
Hold on now. Then from there, INEC had their own guideline, their own provisions, which make room for electronic transmission of results. And our Mahmoud Yakubu also said that they will transmit results electronically in real time from polling unit. Mr. Okoye, their INEC spokesman, campaigned around the world that Beavers is a game changer. That how they will store the information, you can never hack it into the clouds. And all these things were documented. And in law, the rules of court has the same potency and efficacy with the acts. It is a constitutional provision. It is the constitution that gives the person or the judge or to make room for it. So you cannot now set it aside. And how you set it? We are here because we agreed to be here. We have agreed that this game we are going to play, this is the pattern, the rules we have all agreed. We've gone around the whole world to say this is what we want to do. Did INEC do that? Okay, INEC was given 305 billion for this election. What happened to 305? Then why did you bring beavers? Why do you have to use a card readers and other stuff?
So both of you are now saying the same that INEC made some...
so much. The whole of this lies on the bedrock. And INEC was now doing INEC certified documents. And in the court, they are opposing the document they certified. Your own document that you certified, you are opposing it in court. Documents were tendered, documents were admitted as exhibit. It is incumbent on that court to look at those documents, to look at its record. What are they saying? The document, section 128 of evidence, says that document speaks for itself. That is why that section says you cannot add, vary, or contradict what is written. So why this? Sorry, I want to use the word shenanigan to shy. No, let's not shy away from it. From that point in time, That is one of the errors. And what was the pronouncement of the panel?
And what did the council of these petitioners do about it?
That is why they are going on appeal.
Because that is the point that is raising.
No, let me tell you.
What did they do about it? Because it is what to present before the court. Therefore, the judge will
have presented. Now, until the judgment is read or delivered, you will not have the mind of the court.
All right.
Yes, that's it. So it was when the court now said, let me tell you what the court said. It said the provisions, the electoral provisions or regulation is not equal to the act. That INEC has the discretion to choose whatever method they want to use.
Agreed.
And then I tell you that, can you approbate and reprobate? Go and read the case of Omisere and Rigbesola.
Open up to you by saying,
you understand what I'm saying? There are a lot of cases from this place. Even the current one, this Osun State, Adeleke against Oyetola. What do the Supreme Court say on it?
Hold on now.
How do we develop in a situation like
the umpire? Hold on. Barrister Justice, this doesn't watch your emotions. Is getting the best of you right now. Calm down. There's a window also to go and appeal, but let's be calm. All right? He said, is the evidence brought before the court. He also said the council of the petitioners made a mistake in that aspect. He's going to explain.
Okay.
He's going to explain.
Now,
yes.
I did say that the court is not the Father Christmas to give you what you didn't ask of. And even if you look at the principle of the Father Christmas, for a child to even visit and see the Father Christmas, the child also makes some commitment. Do you agree with that, Wilson? And I know my learned friend here also agrees with it. So, an aggrieved party who comes to court shouldn't expect the court to look for evidence or evidences as the case may be. What you need to do is to do your homework. Like I said, where INEC refused to bring those documents, what step was taken by the council of the petitioners? That is one. Two, in their written address, I am privy to it, they didn't even raise that issue before the court.
Remember, address does not take the place of evidence.
Hold on now. He has the floor. Okay. You react, yes.
In Muhammadu Buhari and Umar Yaradua, Oguntade JSC as he then was, who dissented, stated, and I quote, I will say the truth, even if the heavens will fall. Of course, when the truth is told, the heavens remain in place. That is my position. As a lawyer, as a Nigerian, I will tell you the truth. And I repeat, 70% of the bulk of the blame goes to INEC. Some percentage go to the council of the petitioners. And I didn't remove the court, for in my own opinion, where I now talked about 25%, section 134, 1B. And I gave my opinion. But where my opinion contradicts the opinion of the court, which one supersedes? Of course, it's that of the court. And I did say that there is also room to go upstairs. And the parties, the petitioners in that matter, have agreed to go upstairs. So let's see what comes out of it. But I want to tell you, Wilson, you know, the 2023 election came with so many hope. Even the All Progressive Congress told Nigerians that it is renewed hope. Even when we've gone through change and next level, they now came up with renewed hope. But something was also missing. And that missing link on Lagos was caused by INEC.
Okay.
Now, sorry please, let me quickly round up.
Please do.
Elections in Nigeria in particular and in Africa in general, save for a few state has never been free, fair, and credible.
I'll disagree.
Hold on, you react.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
And it is a pity that we've now subject the courts to now determine the winner of elections. If the election is free, fair, and credible, going to the court will amount to an exercise in futility. For instance, the 1993 election, general elections in Nigeria. Today say that even the parties, those that lost, they didn't have the will to approach the court because it was clear. And that is why I said that elections in Nigeria in particular and in Africa in general has never been free, fair, and credible.
Than this election.
Yes.
Okay. Well, INEC came out after the election to say yes, they did their best. They admitted to some flaws, and they said they would do better. They never denied it. They never denied it because when I could say yes, the board looked into it, said, of a fact, there were some flaws, but whenever we did our best, the beavers, connectivity. Talk about what's it called again right now? Is
electronic
it
transmission
and all that? They mentioned it. They say we agree that in some areas we couldn't meet up, but give us time, we'll definitely meet up. That is a part of INEC. It's good to own up, and they say they will do better. But take a look at the results itself. You get to realize that because of the generation of beavers in some climes, they couldn't go beyond a certain mark. The election before this guy here, 20 million, 24 million, but right now it came down below this mark because, according to a report, there was sanity in some climes. After all, a particular person said, look, there were some irregularities in some units, but the court said you didn't bring us to know this unit. You never tendered it. You never mentioned the unit, you never mentioned the state, just said there were irregularities. And that is where Barrister Manuel said, look, there are mistakes also from this council. Anyway, they will go upstairs. Now, the judgment and how it affects the people, Barrister Justin, do you think the people will still be eager? The way they came out in mass to say we have to come out to exercise a franchise in subsequent elections?
Well, Mr. Wilson, you... You have the way of a okay, is the profession.
I don't understand.
Is the profession. Let's flow.
Yeah.
You see, we are talking of political socialization or enlightenment now,
Yes.
and there are agencies that should do that. In as much as they will do that, there's nothing like voters' apathy will be more, but they have to do their part. And maybe you and I, that on ground, to also help to canvass, to say it's not over, you have to do it. If you don't do it, you are not making the society better. But I must tell you, the voter apathy, if we fail to get it right now, the voter apathy will be more. You understand? Like my friend said, beavers being used, cocktails of SSS, yes. Even Mahmoud, those areas they said that network may not be so strong. They also made provision for it that they can send your figures. When you get to area where there is network, it comes in offline. They call it offline transmission. So these things were all provided for, these eventualities were all taken care of in this election. But Mahmoud and others and his cohort decided to sabotage.
Hold on, look, see.
Decided to...
Barrister, thank God you are a legal practitioner. You cannot accuse someone who not approve of.
Okay, they decided...
They cannot sabotage their own effort.
He admitted that there were
errors, but now you're saying sabotage. How?
It is...
How?
Someone
came up to say, look, there was a mistake, we agree. But using a strong-term sabotage, that is quite strong.
And then come to explain to us what caused, where that the technical... Now, grammar. This is what fella will say. Now, we just deceiving ourselves, bamboozle ourselves with English. And that's unfair. That's why we are where we are. That's why we are not moving forward. Let's call a spade, not a farm implement. Come on now. If you are priest, no,
interpret, please.
Yes, I will interpret. If you are saying it, say it as it is. Not, and if you are not saying it, just be calm and leave it. I feel hurt if I'm not saying it the way I see it. You cannot tell me 305 billion, more than Edo State budget. Given to an agency. Then you are telling me where is that? They said it is faultless. Let them tell us the technical glitch now. Why will INEC be fighting people that INEC is supposed to be neutral, impartial? You know, INEC was taking side with APC.
Well, we cannot agree to that.
Why do you not agree?
That is the position. Hold on. These are just allegations, but they came with what they have.
It's not.
You cannot say that. You cannot say that independent umpire is taking side with a party. That is totally wrong.
Are they independent? We'll see.
What is wrong, Justice? That is wrong, Barrister.
Let me assist here.
Oh God.
When you look at, there is something INEC didn't tell us with respect to the functionality of the beavers machine. It's my opinion. There's something they didn't tell us. I was privileged on this platform to sit with two professors. A professor of genetics. And the man made me to understand the science and technology in that beavers machine. One, INEC made us to understand that there are certain places that there will do where there may not be network, that you just still record it in the machine. I can't remember their language.
That's what they said, offline transmission.
Yeah, offline. But did you know that later on we got to understand that beavers machine does not really transmit, that is another question for another day, does not really transmit results. Beavers only records, do the accreditation, then after the election you snap and transmit, but it does not automatically transmit without snapping the results. That they did not make Nigerians to understand from the beginning, but they gave us so much hope. Two,
and they came out to apologize.
What apology?
They were lapses, they understand.
After this damage,
they agreed to the there were some errors.
Please, let me lose my line of thought.
Please don't.
Then two, INEC's regulation is a law. INEC rules and regulation is a law. The INEC rules and regulation were not mere cosmetics. It's a law.
Okay.
Why did they contravene their own law they gave to themselves?
What is the position of the tribunal in that?
No,
okay.
Sir, I don't want you to keep blaming the tribunal because you are a lawyer. See,
no,
if you
are making analysis, or while you are analyzing your positions, how you call, there are some things that will come up. You talk, you make sure you make pronouncement on it.
But like what he said, the council didn't do their job in that regard.
No, it's not the council that is going to write the judgment now.
It's the council. You stand. You're a legal practitioner.
Yes. Now,
they never cited that.
Listen.
I was barely 5 years post-call. I had a matter against a senior advocate of Nigeria. I was scared when I heard that it was a senior advocate. If immediately the processes were served on me and I saw his name, I became scared because he signed it himself. I was thinking maybe a lawyer in his office would have done that, and because of the party that we took to court, the man appeared himself in court that day. So after some arguments, I stumbled on a particular rules of that high court, and I saw the error the senior advocate made. I took advantage of it, and while I addressed the court, I raised that as an issue. The court now looked at me, now said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes, my lord." He now said, "Read the rules." And I read it in an open court. As I was reading it, I was also watching the body language of the senior advocate because I was behind him. And I saw that he was not comfortable. After some time, he would turn and look at me. And I knew that I've gotten him. And the court immediately now said, "I want to deliver my ruling now." And the court started writing. Court wrote for about 30 minutes and delivered the ruling in my favor. It's not because I am smart. It's not because I'm very intelligent. No. But as at that time, the inspiration came. And I quickly took advantage of it. So, as a man, the possibility of making error is there.
Is there?
I still fought the counsel of the petitioners. In my opinion.
That the Labour Party and the PDP?
Yes, they didn't do their homework. In my opinion. And, you know, where we will come on air and begin to fault the courts. I don't want to be a party to that.
We are looking at the judgment of the court.
Section 285(6) provides for an appeal. So, hence they are choosing to take advantage of that provision. Let's go upstairs.
Now, how it affects the people. We talked about voters' apathy. Do you think that is going to happen?
Sure.
It's already happening.
Sure.
We saw it in the subsequent election. Sorry. Okay.
You hold on. Let me just trouble like that. I'll come back to you, Justin. Please.
Sorry, please.
All right.
We saw it in the House of Assembly, governorship, House of Assembly. Is that yes? Governorship, House of Assembly elections. We saw what happened. The people were no longer interested. And other elections we have witnessed in this country, we saw it. So it will not take some of us, the INEC and other agencies like National Orientation Agency, which they didn't even do their work because they took side with a particular political party, to now convince and confuse Nigerians, particularly the young mind, to vote.
Are you for conviction or confusion? Which one are you for right now? Is it convinced or confused? I don't get it. They have to convince them to go out there to vote. Now, back to the Constitution. Kenya's Constitution, of which is stated, was so clear about the election matters, straightforward. But some point that say that for Nigerian Constitution, it has various interpretations depending on the one that is in charge of it. Do you think our Constitution should be clear, straightforward about certain issue? Because that 25% was given many definitions by SANs, given many definitions by barristers. Even people that came to the Constitution, they have various interpretations. It's like, as a layman, it was confusing.
Mr. Wilson,
yes.
Let me tell you, by the grace of God, I've practiced law as a legal practitioner for decades now, with all sense of humility.
Yes.
When you are writing, it depends on what you want to do. When you make up your mind that this is what your argument will be, you look for law, rules, or the constitutional provision that you use to support it. So that you say that's why there are two sides to a coin. So coming to the issue of the constitutionality, I think we can amend to say this issue of presidency must be determined first before swearing in. So that the person that may be or would be announced as winner of the election would not have the opportunity to step into office and begin to use the privileges the office, yes, to run things. Let me use that word now.
Yeah.
You understand? When you occupy certain office, there are some privileges that you have, access that you have.
Advantages.
Yes, advantage that is at your beck and call that the person on the street will not have and will not be able to access, no matter how highly pleased the person may be. You can't tell me now that where President or where Mr. Tinubu is or will be, that as President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, that Mr. Obi will be granted as they are in the G20 now. Except the president say, okay, be in my team. You cannot go there as an individual. It's not meant for you. Except the president say, okay, you come with me. So there are some privilege. So it will be good if we bring up that constitutional amendment to say, let's determine this thing first. And also the umpire. I'm talking of INEC now. It should also be looked into. The powers and others should be looked into and made to function more independently, particularly the appointment of the chairman and the other national commissioners. They shouldn't leave it to the president alone. It should go through some rigors. Some persons will be nominated and they'll go through screening where the most capable and credible person will be picked. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So
all right.
those things should be made and to
like what he said as a legal practitioner, so that aspect of constitution should be looked into before you enter into office or declared or sworn in. Every legal matter should be looked into. What do you have to say about that?
That is my position, just like it is in Kenya. And if you look with respect to the appointment of who heads the electoral body, so many suggestions have been made. But these politicians, particularly the Nigerian politicians, they have a way of wanting to get it at all costs. That principle, that doctrine, or that lifestyle that they have, that it is either me or no one else. What I call 3-point agenda, me, myself, and I, me, my wife, and children, is now the springboard to all of the challenges we are facing. For goodness sake, it must not be me and me alone always. Where it is not me, it should be another. And that's why you see somebody, after becoming governor for 8 years, you will now say you want to go to Senate. By the time we block the chance of Senate, they may even choose one to go to House of Rep and probably become local government chairman. That's what we see. What do you call that? So, our lifestyle is our problem. And the suggestions that have been made to the National Assembly, even them there, because of their interest and the zest they have in everything they do, they don't want to do the needful. So we are going to have catalog of conflicts and challenges, as the case is just now. So if we want to be sincere to ourselves, is to begin to look at the areas. This 2023 election is a pointer. The elections have shown to us so many flaws, despite the hope of revival given to us by INEC. So if we are sincere, this is the time to sit down. We have some governorship elections of some states coming up.
Yes.
Even this year.
Yes.
We are still going to see another drama.
yes, because the
And at the end of the day, you see people running to court. And I want to tell you, the hands of the court will be tied to the back again. Because in a country where we subject the determination of who wins an election to the court is a big problem. As a lawyer, I don't think I appreciate that fact. For after every elections, the court should determine who won or who lost.
Okay.
I don't think so.
let me add to that. The court, you see, like you said, our people we are a very special persons. If you don't get it, they want to pull it down. For whether the election is free, fair, credible, they want to still go to courts.
They want to still go to
Yes,
court.
because let me tell you.
1993, did they?
No, they didn't. Do you know why? Now, there are some elections that they knew they won in Edo State. The new Labour Party won some of these positions. They still took the persons to court. Of course, it's their right, but they knew that this person won them on the field. Why don't you let go? But because they said, oh, no, there is one thing maybe they didn't count their steps correctly before the election. They want, based on that, they want the court to say no, it's not the correct candidate. So
Why won't you count yourself probably before the election?
You see,
you have to dot your eyes and cross your T's properly. Everybody has the right to challenge.
That is what I'm saying. Yes. I just like add to what my friend said. Our people have that innate desire. I cannot give up, or I will not let him go. He will not have it. If I cannot have it, he will not have it. Let me see how I will fight. And somehow, some of them do with due respect to the other side. You know, I don't know, to the judges. Some of them, they have a way of, I don't want to say use some way.
But is it because of the evidence before the court?
Let me tell you.
Judges.
No, let me tell you.
These are the evidence.
No, let me tell you. Yes. I just told you of brought out some facts now. Look at what your own rule says you will do. What stops you from obeying your rules? And what did the court position on that? What was the court pronouncement on it?
And what was the council's pronouncement also?
Let me tell you, the council has addressed court and made this argument to court. And they'll say, if you listen very well, they were working with time. They have about 180 days to conclude everything. So most of the objections that were raised, they said, address upon it, they take it to the last day. That's the address. So now the rule says, without any form, says this is what you will do. You didn't do it, and what is the court supposed to do? Having brought it before you. That is one of the areas I want to. And now you brought documents. You certified documents to me. You brought another one that is contradicting your document. What was the court pronunciation on that?
And the court was saying 2 documents. Are you going to blame the court for that?
Now, that, no, listen.
It all boils down to what Mr. Emmanuel said. No, the proof, the evidence produced.
Mr. Wilson, he knows what I'm saying. When you bring something and I have something, you have certified that it came from you, and is in contrast with what you are hiding it.
And I'm not saying no, this is the original one from me. What will the court do?
Oga, wait now. Listen.
Yes.
You gave me document. You certified this document for me, and there were others you also did not give to me. There is presumption already that if you give me those documents, it will be in my favor. That is why you are hiding. That document is injurious to your case. That is why you are hiding. Yes, on that section 169D of the Evidence Act, withholding of evidence. You understand? And if I bring your document, this is what IREV were supposed to be a place where my voter or my polling unit agent in Oredo Ward 1 Unit 12 will snap and send. And it clean a place out. That is how you get it. Oredo 1, Oredo 2, Oredo, it go like this, and you collate, you have your total. That is how it was arranged. What might happen, you will see some motorcycle. So is that not already yes, you see blood documents, and they are saying this should go. Nobody is talking about it.
Anyway.
And let me tell you, before we continue, sir, just mark my word, you will remember me. I'm not a prophet of doom, but I say things as it is. Kogi, Bayelsa, Imo, with this judgment now, if Supreme Court do not correct this thing, this anomaly, you see what will happen. Yes, okay. You just see, you see it.
But I believe
the disaster.
I believe that
it will be like
because of this case,
by all means,
the umpire will be more careful this time around because of all these cases mentioned. They'll be more careful because they come out to admit that we're going to give Nigeria a better election. But they said Nigerians should please appeal to the politicians. Because that's to give the beef as you go work with it. Whatever happens in the field, sometimes it depends on the politicians and the citizens. And what about the court is the evidence for the court, that's what they work with. And the council also have the right to say, look, bring out everything. This is what we have.
The council let it out. Then they refuse to give to you. What will you do?
What did the council do?
What the council only brought? What did the council do? What is the council supposed to do? Listen.
Seriously?
Hold on.
Barrister?
Hold on. Now,
bring that evidence. Council. What will you do?
Maybe you want to talk. You will file for contempt or so. Did they not come to tell you that, oh, this is what they can give you? They will use system. Look at what happened in Rivers State. How the same politicians you just said brought in people to obstruct is it PDP now? APC from accessing INEC office.
That is the people right now. Are you going to blame the court?
No, this one.
Okay, will you blame the court?
No, I'm not blaming the court for that.
Okay.
I'm saying the one that came before the court didn't put sanction on those it should sanction. Or pronouncement on what it should pronounce upon.
Can you sanction the mob?
This is no mob. I know it's no mob.
Okay, hold on now. I'll come back to you, Justin. Because right now it was clear that if you have any objection, whatever, you can go upstairs.
We're already there.
Good. Now let's take a look at how it's going to, because you mentioned some election which will happen, Kogi, Imo, Bayelsa. Because INEC said, look, Nigeria, there were some flaws, we admit to that, but we're going to give you good election. Barrister Manuel, what's your take on that?
I don't believe INEC.
You don't believe INEC? Why? What's your reason? Or what are your reasons?
INEC has abused the trust, belief some of us had on it. Immediately after the elections, presidential elections of 25th February 2023, I did mention somewhere that a professor of history had just made history negatively in Nigeria.
And they apologized to you. Say, look, we made
mistakes. There are some apologies.
But we will definitely do better.
There are some
we owned up to it.
Yes,
we owned up.
As an undergraduate, my lecturer told me something some years back. He said, I'm sorry, it's a magic word that heals the wound. But do you know that I am sorry can only come when you make that thing as a mistake or by error? But when you deliberately do it, does I am sorry cure that wound?
What are you not insinuating?
The answer is a no.
What are you insinuating?
My insinuation, according to you, is in your words.
I'm asking a question, not my word. I'm asking a question. What are you insinuating?
I don't see INEC just now with Professor Yakub Mahmood as the head of INEC giving Nigeria a free, fair, and credible election.
But that is what they are working towards.
I don't see it.
And he said he's going to do it. He now said politicians allow us to work.
Instead,
remember he cried over it.
Professor Mahmoud,
he cried about that Nigerians, political parties, their candidates, their members, the citizens are making things difficult for INEC. Are you going to blame INEC for that?
Did he not know all of that before he gave us the hope he gave to us? See, in my opinion, I see a situation where he will even take advantage of the judgment, particularly if the Supreme Court told the line of the court.
Anyway, that is your opinion. That may not be correct. It may not be correct.
It's my opinion.
Anyway, some are saying that if security is on the ground, INEC will have an easy means of operation. After all, they cannot be battling with election and battling with security themselves. That is what these politicians use.
Mr. Wilson,
they use thugs.
Don't go too far. Let me tell you, we are in this system. Let us tell ourselves the truth. You are pardoning this thing. Don't be pardoning.
Nobody is pardoning this thing. You're speaking facts right now.
It's the anchor now.
You understand?
He wants to extract information from you and also to the
Your
public.
question is the security.
Yes, architecture.
Yes. If the people on top, maybe from the presidency to the governor, decide to say they want to play by the rule of the game, the police or the army, they don't have a choice in the matter. It is those people on top that influences these men or these security agencies.
And then it's just INEC is saying,
hold on now.
Politicians, let us work.
Hold on. You just hold on. I'm going somewhere.
I'm holding on.
In 2012, in Edo State governorship election, between Comrade Adams Ali Oshomole and Major General Charles Ariave, retired, we all knew the political tension that came up during the electioneering process or campaign. The heat it generated. We, the Edolites, if you go to this, we already have our mind made up that come what may, Adams Ali Oshomole is going back. Yes, that was what happened, or what we have made up our mind to do. But the other man also have his own followers.
Now you are balancing it.
Yes, he had his own followers. But he said majority have its way, while minority have its say. When the D-Day came, I think Mr. Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, then president of Nigeria, even visited Edo State, and he visited our royal father, Omunoba Nedo Kwakpolo, Oba Iridiawa, Oba Atokbe. Having said that, and at the end of the day, when Goodluck preached peace when he got to Ogbe Stadium, look at that election, my brother. No one canister was fired. Election, we didn't even use BVAS. We used TVC, temporary voters card, that was now turned to PVC. No canister was fired. Oshomole got 18/18. He won in all the local government. He won in all the world. It's only few units where some PDP stalwart were that he lost some units in Nation side or something like that. But in Oredo, Edo South, Edo North, he cleared everything. 18/18. Go and check your record. No one single person, no one gunshot at that ahead of.
So it's because of President Goodluck Jonathan's disposition.
Yeah. So first thing first, let who is there be say this is an election. It's not a do or die affair. Whether my party lose.
That means INEC is correct. Let us walk.
See, I'm going somewhere. You wait.
We are going to the same direction.
No.
That's what we are going to.
Now, another thing is this. Where INEC is this. If somebody comes to meet you, say, see, we want to run these things, and you say no, the person go adjust. When some of these things were going on, what was INEC position? Particularly the video we saw in Lagos, you know how somebody was threatening.
Barrister Justin.
What did INEC do?
Barrister Justin, that is not the work of INEC, rather the work of security agents. That is where politicians come into play.
I'm coming there.
I'll come back to you.
No. Hold on.
Just with the new electoral act, 2022, INEC can prosecute.
What was their position? Did they criticize? Did they condemn?
Hold on.
Then the security agent, then you pick up such persons. So it is both of them, because the person on top has a political party and he has his leaning.
And we are saying the same thing. Anyway, I'll come back to you.
It all went.
Barrister Justin, I'll come back to you. We're still going for a short break, but before that, INEC raised one issue. Yes, they're proud to prosecute and all that, but in the heat of conducting an election, things do happen. Politicians, their true colors comes into play. The citizens also, their true colors comes into play. The pressure, the mismanagement sometimes during an election, all this put together, do you think that INEC should totally take the blame of the failures in some elections?
Yes. Yes, INEC should.
It's not for you, it's for you to answer, because right now, you are highly emotional right now.
No.
But it's a moment over to you.
I did say from the outset that INEC has 70% of the blame, not total, not 100%. And also, let me borrow a leaf from the preamble of the Constitution. We, the people of Nigeria, we, the people, we also have our own part of it, where some of these persons, boys that were used to cause chaos during elections, are they not Nigerian?
You just don't want to go for a break. Hold on, we'll return, continue with your line of thought. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI Sunday's edition. We're taking a look at the aftermath of presidential election petition tribunal. Yes, revisiting our constitution. That is what many are like talking about, because due to the judgment given, some are saying that our constitution should be overhauled, should be looked into, should be re-amended to suit this kind of situation. And I have two wonderful legal practitioners here with me in the studio. In one hand, they agree to some particular point raised. On the other hand, they disagree. After all, we have to agree to disagree, or disagree to agree. That's what today's edition is all about. Well, since we'll be joining a live studio talking about the Thanksgiving service of the Summer of Benin, His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Sari Binejo, who will turn 89 tomorrow. There'll be a special Thanksgiving service. Gentlemen, you're going to give us your last line on this discussion. Our constitution, is it the problem? Should it be worked on, or what do you think we should do to prevent some persons that are not satisfied to be satisfied consequently or subsequently in other election? Let me start from Barrister Justin briefly. I want to start off with you.
Well, the Constitution has some loopholes. I think we have to work on it. Amendment is what I mean. You have to work on it because no document is perfect. So as time changes, there are areas that we have to work on seriously. And those areas should be amended maybe before the next general election. Then INEC also, the act should also be worked on to cover some of these
Lapses
that we are seeing. If not, the forthcoming election or offline off record, off the normal routine election in some states to be a bizarre. I don't want to use the word, other word to be
thank
a
you.
sham.
Thank you so much, Barrister Justin Ure. Barrister Manuel Obapolo, your last line. The Constitution.
The Constitution, on the one hand, then also the character and the attribute of our politicians. Politics should not be a do or die affair. You shouldn't say that it must be me, or it must be I, or it must be us. That shouldn't be it.
Or
we should also consider other persons, because we are one Nigeria, and I think an average Nigerian wants to see this country goes to greater heights. Also, for the Constitution, I want to use this platform to admonish, and also at the same time to make an appeal that the 2014 Sovereign National Conference document, I think it is high time that document should see the light of the day. If that document can validly replace the extant constitution just now that we have. But also, you think some members of the National Assembly have put up argument that that document was teleguided somehow, was just a script played by the administration of then President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, that it is them, the National Assembly, that has power to so come up with any law. So if they think so, and which it is with the extant constitution that we have, they should look at that document, then look at how they can make amends and make it the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I feel like studying law right now. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Don't worry. You know, two wonderful lawyers, divergent views and opinions, saying this is that, subsection this, cross-section, objection, whatever. Yes, general has been given, and you have the right to appeal. Supreme Court should be the next point in line, right? Let's see how
Court of call
will just pan out. Once more, gentlemen, thank you so much. Barrister, you were so pained, you lost your emotions in part of the discussion, but it's okay. It's all right. I understand. Barrister Manuel, thank you so much. I appreciate both of you. The Internet Birthday Thanksgiving Service of the Summer of Benin, His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Sarek Benejio, will take place at St. Gabriel the Archangel Catholic Church along Sapele Road in Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria, from 10 o'clock. You just have a nice time watching to see how this great man is thanking God for adding a year to his years, making him 89. Happy viewing. All of us in the studio, we are saying happy birthday to the Summer of Benin. His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawao Igbiledio.
Happy birthday, sir.
Bye for now.